everybody, this is Marlon for 1995. It's time for part 3 of my Transformers 4 spoiler talk and review. And once again, I would like to apologize for just the recent lack of videos compared to the month of June and even July a little bit. This month of August, I have school coming up on Monday again, starting my sophomore year of college, and it's just, I give Michael Bay a lot of props for being able to do 4 Transformers films practically in a row like this, just with that little separation with Pain and Gain, because just covering this Transformers 4 non-stop, for my YouTube channel, it is, after the movie came out, it's just like, wow, I need a break or something. I mean, it just, I don't know, I felt like it took a lot out of me or something, but, I'm going to try and get back on the ball here, try and, give you guys some more videos. I also have my short film Retribution, which has taken up a lot of my time. As you see, I just posted that Miami Marine Stadium video that kind of showed you around where I filmed. And then there should be a trailer coming out for a new, I think, trailer number 3 coming out very soon. And also, if you were not able to watch till the end of the last video for Miami Marine Stadium, then I am going to be doing a very odd giveaway where it's going to be very, I'm going to be surprised if anyone gets this. You have to take a picture next to Marlon Fantasy 95 spray painted on the stadium. So, go and check out that video if you want to learn more, if you are in the South Florida area. So, moving on to the spoiler review, we're going to start off with our first look at Transformium. Stanley Tucci's character, Joshua, is showing Darcy, and Joshua's assistant is also there as well. I forget his name. I think it was Gil. He's showing off Transformium, and he first comes out in this little ball, and then he's kind of like showing it like in the air and stuff. Now, Transformium is a very out there type thing. This is what made the movie very sci-fi, in my opinion. It's definitely just, it's very out there. It's not something we would expect to see in the real world, even if we did have transforming giant alien robots. It's very odd how this material is able to shapeshift and be programmed, and how we were able to master it so quickly. But moving on, when Joshua is showing off this Transformium to Darcy, what was interesting is in the background you see a white head being worked on, and it looks exactly like Ratchet, but it's pure white and it has red eyes. It's very simple. Now this could just be a prop for the melted Ratchet head that was used later on in the movie, just to kind of show the actors where it would be, or it actually could be them trying to rebuild another Ratchet. They were trying to build an Optimus Prime. They were trying to build like a different version of Bumblebee and Stinger. So they could have been trying to build another Ratchet, maybe make a whole other Autobot man-made team. And this could even lead into how Ratchet could be revived in future films if that spark taken by Lockdown from the spark extractor was actually saved. Now, as far as the whole Transformers lore, it could be very possible for that to happen. As far as the movies, I'm not sure if that type of Transformer science would apply. It is definitely possible. It is not out there if they tried to bring Ratchet back that way, but that is, of course, hopeful thinking, just because I like Ratchet. Ratchet was a good character, I thought. I know a lot of people didn't think he got a lot of characterization between the 3 films, but I liked Ratchet just because he was just the kind, gentle, medic robot that, was just kind of pleading for his life earlier in the movie, and he was just very in shock, and it was a very sad death scene for him. So, moving on, we see Galvatron, and now Galvatron, for the first time, as we see, was supposed to be like an alternate version of Optimus Prime. He was kind of supposed to be like the Nemesis Prime, but in a good way. He was supposed to be modeled exactly after Optimus, be the Peterbilt truck, and look exactly like Optimus Prime. Unfortunately, that didn't work. As we know later, Galvatron, or actually Megatron, was actually orchestrating this whole thing so that he could get a new body and a new form, so that he could go on with another one of his master Plan Bs, or Plan Fs, or Zs, or whatever. you know, he had Megatron. He has backup plans for his backup plans for his backup plans. He's just, you know, he's got so many plans. I mean, by Transformers 17, he's going to be having, you know, plan, you know, 32. You know, it's just crazy. But we see him for the first time, and then we move on to breaking into the KSI. They're Shane and Cade. You know, they're, you know, talking, you're working with the Autobots, they're trying to figure stuff out about KSI and what exactly they are doing there. So, Cade and Shane, you know, get inside of Bumblebee and they try to sneak in to the building. And, something that I thought was cool that I noticed was one of the guards that was at this KSI building that was, you know, kind of the main one that interacted with at the gate. He was actually in Transformers Dark of the Moon, and he was one of the nest guards when Sam and Carly were trying to get inside the nest base at the beginning of the movie after the laser beak attack, and he was the one that hit the top of Sam's car, and Sam's like, "Do not hit my car, it's a collector's item." So, I thought that was pretty cool. How I'm not sure if they actually meant that to be the same character or just have the same actor play a different character. I'd like to believe it's the same character, because I think that's pretty cool that a guy from Nest just kind of goes over to KSI, maybe not knowing the whole truth of what is happening, and maybe they're not showing him, like, oh, Ratchet is actually inside being melted at the moment. So I think that's pretty cool how they were able to, you know, get a slightly recognizable face. So they break in a sense, and they just kind of sneak in, and we see they go into this showroom where we see Stinger for the first time, and you know, Bumblebee, he gets all hot-headed and crazy, and we have, this is, you know, probably my favorite Bumblebee scene in the trilogy, in the 4 movies, because it's just total Bumblebee character. I mean, it's like he gets all hot-headed, he's mad that Stinger, he's mad that people think that his design is inferior to Stinger's design, and he just goes nuts. He even, like, he goes like, "What the beep?" And I thought that was a very funny moment when it said beep instead of an actual word. And then he, you know, messes with Shane when Shane, you know, mentions, you know, how Bumblebee does not look as good compared to, you know, Stinger. So I thought that was really cool, you know, interaction between, you know, Bumblebee, you know, just showing his young personality. And so I love that scene, great scene. And then when Bumblebee says, you know, "Can't touch this," after he knocked down Stinger, and then of course, you know, passing the blame onto Shane, I thought that was pretty awesome. Next, we see Ratchet, his head, you know, dislodged from his body and being melted down to get Transformium. And this is when Cade actually takes out one of those mini drones, and he is feeding that over to the Autobots that are waiting at a undisclosed location. So that it's a really emotional scene because it really shows that, wow, Ratchet, not only was he, you know, killed by humans who he once trusted at a point, but you saw his head all deformed and melted, and it's just, they did such a good job of making this so heart-wrenching in the fact that this is one of the original Autobots from the first Transformers film just being completely torn down and, you know, just being treated as like an evil Decepticon. So Optimus just goes into rage mode, and he is completely angry, and this is what I wanted to see. When I saw in the trailers that Ratchet was most likely going to be dying in this film, I wanted Optimus to show emotion. Now, when Ironhide died in Transformers Dark of the Moon, Optimus Prime, he just kind of had a look on his face like, I need to get Sentinel for what he has done. And, you know, even in Jazz, in the first Transformers film, he's like, "Oh, Jazz." And then, you know, it was kind of like, "Oh, but we made new friends today." So, but in this film, I wanted Optimus Prime to show some emotion when his friend Ratchet dies at the hands of humans and Lockdown, who was just a merciless bounty hunter. And boy, did Optimus Prime and Peter Cullen deliver. It was exactly what I wanted to see. Optimus Prime was outraged when he saw that Ratchet was indeed dead and they were melting down his head, just for, for Transformium. And Optimus Prime was like, they slaughtered Ratchet. And I was literally in the movie theater opening night, and I was like, yes, that is exactly what I wanted to see out of Optimus Prime. And then what followed was the KSI break-in. Let me double check if I missed anything. Yes, alright, so the KSI break-in. This is when the Autobots are like, you know what, we're done. We're done with all this. We're not being treated like this anymore. They just go into complete rage mode, and they just go and trash this KSI building. They bust through the doors, they bust through the windows, they bust through the building, and they just run through, and this was by far my favorite scene of the movie. I just love this whole sequence of the KSI break-in, with the Autobots coming in, Crosshairs, he just came in, he slides in, starts shooting his gun up in the air, and it was just a really great scene. And then we have a little bit of comedy with, of course, Brains and the Oreo bot. Brains, I remember the first couple times I saw this movie, this is where the audience got a couple of laughs with Brains' comments. And but it was a really emotional scene mainly. And this is when Stanley Tucci actually comes out and faces the Autobots. And he's just like, you know what, we don't need you anymore. And Optimus Prime gets very mad because even though the humans might think that they might not need the Autobots anymore, it does not give them an excuse to do what they're doing. It is, if there's no other Decepticon threats, then, the Autobots have helped you. They've saved your planet multiple times. I mean, be good to them. And, of course, they were not, and this is what was getting Optimus Prime angry. He was like, these were my friends that you just killed. And it is just more of that emotion that I wanted to see out of Optimus Prime that we did not really get to see as much in the past 3 movies. And I really just enjoyed that aspect of seeing Optimus Prime, torn down and not as, just as heroic and like looking at the bright side as he always was. He was actually showing some, sadness, some anger. And I just really love that about the character in this movie. The characterization was a lot better, I think, as the Transformers as a whole compared to the last 3 movies. And so Optimus Prime, he's just like, the world will know what you're doing here. And then Stanley Tucci just fires back, and Optimus Prime is just like, wow, you humans, it's like you just don't understand. And, and then, he gets like to the point where he actually gets so angry that when Stanley Tucci mentions that they're kind of like technology, he just kicks an object right through the glass, and he just shows his anger, and he's like, we're not your technology. So, but then, Optimus Prime, he gets to a point where he's like, you know what, we're done. We came here, we came to do, and, this is not the guy that, I was going to kill, but that I pledged towards the beginning of the film that I would kill the human responsible, which is, of course, Kelsey Grammer's character, Harold Attinger. So, the Autobots leave, and then, Brains is like, oh, we're not going to kick a little bit, but, and then, there's, more laughs out of the audience. And then we lead into the whole Galvatron and Lockdown interaction with Optimus Prime on the highway, and we're going to be getting to that in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm going to be trying to get back with some more videos soon. I do need to finish my Rise of the Dark Spark walkthrough. I know it's been a while for that. I'm not going to be stopping that. It is going to continue. I just haven't been able to edit it lately. I have it finished. I just need to edit it. I've finished the game, of course. Yeah, but that is all it. I said that kind of weird. That is it for this part 3 of my Transformers Age of Extinction review with the spoilers. And make sure to go and check out my Miami Marine Stadium video if you have not seen that already. Michael Bay filmed Pain and Gain in there, so I thought it was really cool that I was able to film at a spot where Michael Bay once filmed movie. So that was, you know, really cool in my eyes. So yeah, once again, that is it. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more. At the moment of filming this video, I'm at 2,999 subscribers. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, guess that by the time I edit this, I'll have 3,000. So thank you for 3,000 subscribers. That is just crazy awesome. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything or maybe wait until I get 5,000. So we'll end up seeing about that. So once again, subscribe and like this video if you'd like to see more, and, you know, tell your friends and stuff. So yeah, I am Fantasy 95. See you guys next time.